Welcome to the Scout Team MVPs podcast, your home for weekly sports talk, where we break down all of your favorite teams, players, and upcoming matchups. Here are your hosts, the Scout Team MVPs.
Welcome back to the Scout Team MVPs podcast. I am your host, Chris McMillan. With me, Rob Guthrie, Shane Burlick. The boys are back in town. Hey, boys. How you doing?
Well, that was adorable.
Just for you.
I can't complain.
Yeah, life's great.
Rob, how's the new job going?
Fantastic, Chris. I'm glad you asked. It's going really good. I'm adapting well, and pretty soon I'll own the company.
Started a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and on your way to CEO. Sounds good.
Yep.
Shane, are you doing good at your new job?
Yeah, I didn't even know Rob had a new job. I just kind of assumed that he was like a homeless drifter. But yeah, my job's going great. I don't know. I can't complain.
Rob, no retort?
I don't have enough energy to retort.
Huh. Well, sweet.
So it's fact if it's on the internet.
That's true. We
we went over that last week, Shane, but you weren't here.
Yeah, sorry, I was sick.
Yeah, whatever. Sick my booty.
Yeah, well.
All right. Good times. Well, we're back, and it is episode number 8. For those of you listening, if you've seen the weather at all in the Midwest, we are just getting destroyed. It's supposed to be negative 50 degrees tomorrow with the wind chill. So, no thank you.
So you guys are joining me for that polar plunge, right?
Polar plunge. We're going to do it in the trailer park pool that Rob had growing up, right, Rob?
Yeah, yep, totally. 100% trailer park pool. Getting in.
It's like a Trailer Park Boys reference. Love it.
Well, on last week's episode, Shane, we were talking about where we learned to swim, and I asked Rob if he had a pool growing up, and he said that they don't have pools in trailer parks. So,
well, you do. They're just one of those little plastic ones you get at Walmart, and you fill it up. It's like a dog puddle.
Exactly. I mean,
well, like I said,
any pool that's not built into the ground is a trash pool. You know what I mean? You can't really dive in an above ground pool, right, Shane?
Well, you can, but that's how I got. No, never mind. Cut
that. Well, yep. Episode number 8. We're back. It's cold outside, but we are hot fire inside.
Baby,
right,
it's
boys?
cold outside.
You can't say that. Everyone will get all mad about that song.
Hey, man,
it's not
that's not my fault. Anymore. People are really, really weird.
Yeah, they're a bunch of whiners. That song's not that bad.
Hey, hot take from Shane.
You boys know what this week is, right?
The last week of January.
Oh, good one, Shane.
That is correct, but it's also Super Bowl week, and that is our first topic of the day is talking a little bit of NFL. Topic 2, we're going to get into some NBA action. Lots of good stuff going down. All-star starters were announced. Captains were announced. We're going to get into that. Honorable mentions of the week in segment number 3, and scouting for picks. We're going to recap Rob and I's and Shane's NBA picks from last week, and we're also going to give our Super Bowl picks. I know we are very excited for that.
What day are they playing that game on?
I think it's a noon game.
It's on Saturday, right?
Saturday at 11.
Perfect.
AM.
You heard it here first. The most accurate sports show in all the land.
Yes. Good time. Super Bowl week. Not that any of our teams are in it, but, it's fun nonetheless, I guess.
Yeah, whatever.
The
Tom Brady bandwagon jumper.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you have like 16.
I'm sorry, Shane, that liked the Vikings and then 2 years later liked the Seahawks. Get off my junk.
I don't deny that I don't deny that I like Brett Favre more than the Packers. Him and I have a lot in common.
Fan.
Yeah, when did he play for the Seahawks? Did he just
Russell
recently?
Wilson played for the Badgers, son.
So did Melvin Gordon and James White.
And I root for Melvin and James, but I just don't like them as much as
Watt
Russell.
And
what about TJ Watt?
TJ,
he's pretty good, actually.
He is good. Should have been drafted by the Packers.
I don't even know who he plays for.
Steelers.
But
Got him.
Yep, Steelers. Yay.
Psych.
I need that sound effect.
Yeah.
That's what I need.
Yeah, you need that.
You know what I'm talking about. All right, boys. Episode number 8. Here we go. Live coming at you. Well, we're not live. We're recorded. It's a podcast, but you know what I mean. Episode number 8 coming at you. We'll be right back after this with segment number 1. Jumping right into segment number 1, gentlemen, we're talking a little NFL action here on episode 8 of the Scout Team MVPs podcast. Boys, Super Bowl week, like we said in the intro, we got the Patriots and the Rams playing in Atlanta. I'm not sure if Atlanta's going to be able to recover. I saw they probably were slated for like an inch of snow down there, so they might have to cancel the game.
Yeah, they're getting the same weather we have here, same system. It's supposed to be like 2 inches of snow shut down their whole freeway in their city a couple years back. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy how different it is being here in Wisconsin compared to the South, where we just had 9 inches of snow on Monday and everyone's back to driving and just fine. And now 2 inches of snow in Atlanta shuts the city down.
Wasn't it back when the Packers were in the Super Bowl in Dallas? There was like an ice storm and like there was a mass issue with people getting to and from the game with the transportation.
Yeah, they just don't have like the plows and like the salt trucks like we do up here. But yeah, you're right. And the Packers played in Dallas for the Super Bowl. They had some ice and it was major problems. Rob jumping in there. Yes, Super Bowl week, gentlemen. We got the Patriots. We got the Rams. Let's talk a little bit about that game and kind of give a little bit of a preview, what we think might go down, and we'll get our final picks when we do our scouting for picks segment. But let's talk a little bit about that game, Rob. Kind of think where you think it's going to end up, who's got the upper hand, and we're going to start. Rob, give us your thoughts on that game.
Well, I think the Rams are going to get the ball in the first half. Going to run up and down the field on the Patriots, probably score like 28 in the first half, and then they're going to get zilched out, and Tom Brady's going to make a game-winning drive and win his 18,000th Super Bowl.
Sounds kind of like a game that was played not too long ago.
Yeah.
Shane, thoughts on this game? What's going to happen? What's going down? Tell us your thoughts.
Well, there is one thing I do know for a fact that Rob is correct about. Both teams will get the ball in the first half.
That was a good take by him for sure.
That's going to happen. For you who watch football, that's generally how it works. I really think what it's going to come down to, Jared Goff, is he ready for the big stage? I mean, we've seen it. It's happened to other quarterbacks. Tom Brady, like Rob did say, has been there, 9 times now? The stage isn't going to be too big for Tom Brady. You give Bill Belichick 2 weeks to prepare for a team. We know what he can do. We saw what he did to the Chiefs in the first half of that game. I mean, I don't think the Chiefs scored. So I look for the Patriots to come out hot.
That was a little bit more in-depth than what we got from Rob. But yeah, I think it's definitely going to come down to experience for sure. I mean,
I don't think it is. I don't think it is, Chris. Sorry.
Well, I mean, we've had the Patriots in this scenario so many different times. Tom Brady obviously leading that team at quarterback position. Bill Belichick, head coach. They've been here before. They know what to expect. We have a young head coach in McVay for the Rams. We have a young quarterback in Jared Goff. Lots of players who haven't been on that big of a stage before. Biggest game of the year. I think all signs are probably pointing to Patriots.
I tend to agree. I just think that as long as the Rams defense is able to hold up, if it's a solid defense on Super Bowl Sunday, they're definitely going to win that game, but you never really know.
Well, I think the Chiefs were tied for the most sacks in the NFL, and I don't know that they actually sacked Brady in that game, in the AFC Championship game. And on the Rams side, you looked at that Saints game, Todd Gurley was on the bench for a lot of that fourth quarter. C.J. Anderson was getting the ball. I mean, he was good, but he's no Todd Gurley. I mean, we got to wonder what's going on there.
Yeah. And I think another thing, Shane brought it up earlier, is Goff ready. I just don't think he's an elite quarterback and hasn't really done much to prove anything to the contrary. So, I mean, it's going to depend a lot on him too. And not rely on Gurley to carry him through this game.
Yeah, I think when you do have a young quarterback like that, you're going to want to try and rely on that ground game as much as you can to kind of set the tone a little bit, keep the ball out of Brady's hands as much as possible. But yeah, I mean, we have two really good teams. They're there for a reason, and it's going to be very interesting to see who comes out on top. We're going to get our picks, like I said, later on in our Scouting for Picks segment. But huge game, obviously, Super Bowl Sunday, this Sunday in Atlanta. Pray for all those with their 2 inches of snow down there. Make sure they get to the game safely, have a good game played. But boys, you know what also we have that just went down this past weekend? I know it's our favorite game of the year, and that was the Pro Bowl. Did you guys watch it? Tell me your thoughts. Rob, what do you think?
I haven't watched it since about 2001. I don't know. It's just such a boring game.
It's oddly specific.
I don't really watch them anymore. The skills competitions are far cooler than the game is, but yeah, sorry I couldn't tell you much about the game.
Shane, thoughts? Pro Bowl?
I kind of watched a little bit of it. Obviously, I watched Russell Wilson play a little bit. Everyone talks about the NBA All-Star Game and nobody plays defense. I mean, at least the NBA All-Star Game's entertaining. The Pro Bowl is just like watching a bunch of guys just run around and try a little bit, and I don't even know. It wasn't great. It wasn't a very fun game to watch.
Yeah, Pro Bowl, very lackluster. It is every year. You know, they've tried in recent years to get a few more people's eyes on it with that skills challenge like you talked about, Rob, which was kind of entertaining. You know, they play dodgeball and they do their different competitions, and whichever side comes out on top, NFC or AFC, that winning team gets a little bit of money, which is always nice. But as far as the Pro Bowl itself is concerned, AFC did come out on top 26-7. Not that it really matters, but it was played. It was raining. It was kind of brutal. And yeah, I mean, not much else to say there, really.
Yeah, I think the last good Pro Bowl game was the game where Randy Moss had like 200 some yards and a touchdown. I think that's the last important game I've ever seen in a Pro Bowl.
Was that 2001, like you said before?
I don't know. I really don't. I'm not a genius, as you guys know.
Well,
No.
Come on.
Awkward.
Yeah, but other NFL news, let's get into that. I mean, we have Antonio Brown out there. What's going on with Antonio Brown? Is he coming back to the Steelers? Is he done? It kind of seems like he's quickly, burning bridges there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, man, it seems like everyone in Pittsburgh kind of does whatever they want. There's no structure. It doesn't seem like there's any discipline whatsoever. I mean, I know these guys are stars, but you got to treat them like you're paying them, you know what I mean?
Shane, thoughts on Antonio Brown?
It looks like he just needs a change of scenery, honestly. Where he would go, I just don't know where he would fit. I mean, obviously, I don't know who it was, one of the big-time sports guys said there's no room for the diva receiver anymore. And I mean, that's kind of true. I mean, you look at Randy Moss, he went to New England, and he kind of turned it around and had a good couple of years. I mean, but I just don't see the Patriots giving up a huge amount for Antonio Brown, kind of at the tail end of Brady's career. And who knows if Belichick will be back. I mean, maybe Cleveland's a good fit for Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I could see Cleveland being a definite possibility. You got the Le'Veon Bell situation too. I know on Instagram a couple weeks ago there was a picture floating around with Le'Veon, Jarvis Landry, and Antonio Brown. That would be quite the trio, Brown and Landry at receiver and Le'Veon Bell at running back, if that were to come to fruition. But yeah, it's just crazy. It just seems like that relationship has completely just depleted over the last couple of years. Reading different articles that their relationship has been fractured for quite some time now between himself, the coaching staff, Big Ben. It just doesn't seem like a very good situation all around. But yeah, it will be kind of interesting to see what team out there might be interested, what they're going to give up for him potentially to get Antonio Brown on that squad.
That's why I think Cleveland's a good fit, though. I mean, that Cleveland honestly has more of an upside than probably 90% of the teams in the league right now. I mean, they've got young quarterbacks, young talent everywhere. You look at all these teams in the playoffs now. Look at the Patriots. Brady's getting down towards the end. Big Ben, he's talked about retirement. He's kind of going the Brett Favre route. Drew Brees, he's talking about walking away. Phillip Rivers is in his late 30s. I mean, the Browns are going to be a contender in the AFC within a year or two.
Yeah, and I mean, the Browns wouldn't be that bad. I'm just thinking more the lines of allowing these players to do whatever they want. Obviously, the Browns kind of let Josh Gordon slide a lot on his actions, but then they get rid of Johnny Manziel as soon as they can. So I don't know. They kind of shown that they can go both ways with disciplinary actions, and I mean, you just got to get these guys to be responsible, and I guess not dink around with millions and millions of dollars.
Well, when your head coach's name is Freddie Kitchens, you know he's ready to lay down the law.
Yeah, my boy Fred. Yeah, I mean, crazy situation. I mean, somebody that talented like Antonio Brown, going to be hard for the Steelers probably to just give him up for nothing. It's going to be interesting to see what they can get for him, if anything, or if this is just going to be another Le'Veon Bell situation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like super concerned for the Steelers because they still got a lot of young talent like Smith-Schuster. As long as he doesn't go anywhere, I think they'll be all right.
I think Big Ben's a problem, honestly. He's too dramatic as a quarterback position. He is a guy that's going to put it on everyone else. I just think Big Ben is a big problem there. He's got to get his attitude and his kind of diva-ness under control, too. It's not just Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I think it's not talked about enough. There's been quite a few reports and things like that Big Ben definitely has his opinion. He's been there for a long time, and yeah, I mean, he's one of those quarterbacks that certainly seems to want to get his way. It will be interesting, boys, to see what happens again in Pittsburgh. It seems like we're always talking about the Steelers when it comes time for offseason and what's going on there. Usually talking about Le'Veon Bell, but now we're talking about him as well as Antonio Brown, where they're going to end up. But lots going on in the NFL. Super Bowl Sunday this weekend. Get our picks later on in the episode. Segment number 1 coming to a close, and we will be right back after this. And we're back here on the Scout Team MVPs podcast, episode number 8, segment number 2. We're talking about NBA action. I'm your host, Chris McMillan. Rob Guthrie, Shane Burlick here, talking NBA. Let's talk some All-Star game starters. They were just announced recently. And our 2 captains for the East and the West. Not even the East and the West anymore, is it? We just have Team Giannis and Team LeBron, 2 highest vote getters in the All-Star game voting. Rob keeps talking. He's got lots to say. So with that, Rob, why don't you go over our All-Star starters and we'll debate.
All right, obviously Giannis is a starter. Obviously Curry and Durant, pretty much the Warriors. Joel Embiid, who I hate. Paul George, who I think is old and washed up. James Harden, who travels on a daily basis. Kyrie Irving, who's a drama queen. LeBron James, who's the most prima donna person since Shane Burlick. Kawhi Leonard, the most overrated defensive player ever. And Kemba Walker, who is that? You know what I mean?
Wow, that's pretty opinionated.
Yeah, a lot of opinions there.
Hey, man, we don't have a show for nothing.
How did your basketball career turn out?
Better than yours, Shane. I think you played a total of like 1 minute.
I never pretended to be good at basketball, though.
Neither did I. I just was. Ooh.
Anyways, moving
Shane,
on.
do you even have 20 points in your whole career?
Oh, yeah, in Summer League all the time.
Let alone game.
Summer League, yeah. Summer League, yeah.
I'm sure.
I was more of a facilitator.
You were more of a
That's true.
artist / play and drama type nerd, weren't you?
We went to the same school. You know that's not true.
Yeah, let's.
I think Rob
I
forgot
know-
where he came.
Yep, I did. I try to forget as many memories as I have with Shane Burlick in them. So
That whole sentence just didn't make sense. I try to forget as many memories as I have.
I liked it.
yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
liked it too. I think
guess
Shane, you're just a little. Why
Yeah,
not?
let's run down. I know Rob gave you guys all the rundown of the All-Star starters, but let's kind of dive a little more in depth into them. Talked about Giannis. Obviously, we've talked about him every episode because he's the man. Steph Curry, Golden State Warriors. This is his 6th All-Star selection. Kevin Durant, 10 All-Star selections already. That's kind of crazy. Let's see here. Joel Embiid, 76ers
old?
forward. It kind of does. I mean, I remember when he was drafted by the Sonics and don't even
I remember when he
exist,
was at
but-
Texas.
Paul George, 6th All-Star selection. James Harden, 7th. Kyrie Irving, 6th All-Star selection. LeBron James. Isn't it crazy that LeBron James has been in the league for 16 years, 15 years now?
Nope,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the time he retires. So
Well, you're gonna wait a little bit. He said he wants to play with his son, so
yeah, well, he's gonna freaking blow out both of his knees if I have anything to say about it.
Wow.
Well,
Very opinionated
if
Rob Guthrie
LeBron's
on
knees
today's
ever get-
episode.
If somebody ever assaults
No.
LeBron, you heard who it was here.
It's true.
I've never been a fan of LeBron, probably mostly due to the fact he's always compared to Michael Jordan, and I don't like it. He's obviously a great basketball player, but not my style.
Not everybody has to be your cup of tea, but LeBron, 15th
Yeah.
All-Star selection.
Let's not go down
Next
that
up.
road. The LeBron Jordan debate will be here all night.
We could do a whole
Not
episode
really.
on that.
Not
Yeah,
really, because it's
no,
easy.
no.
MJ all day. That's it. I
Yeah, let's
guarantee
just
all
not even-
three
let's
of
just
us
not
will
even
agree.
Go down that road. No,
Chris, who
that-
you got? MJ versus LeBron. Who you got?
I'm partial to MJ, but I don't want
Yeah,
to talk
exactly.
about it for.
Nope. Yep.
Yeah,
That's
for
it.
16
And
that'll take
Shane.
an hour.
Shane.
I'm a Michael Red
Shane?
guy. I don't know.
Michael. Oh my god, I love it.
Speaking of Michael Red, actually, no, this has nothing to do with Michael Red. Kawhi Leonard, 3rd All-Star selection. Kemba Walker, Charlotte Hornets, 3rd All-Star selection as well. Those are your All-Star starters. And like I mentioned earlier, Giannis and LeBron are the captains. They kind of schoolyard pick them out of those starters there. Going to be interesting to see who picks who if we're going to get some Russell Westbrook and Joel Embiid on the same team. See if we can get a fight, you know?
I really don't like Joel Embiid. I really don't.
Joel.
Or
It's Joel, yeah.
does it really effing matter, you guys?
Kind of.
Yeah, a little bit. It's the guy's name.
Oh, really? I call you Shan all the time.
Shan?
Shane?
Well,
Shan? Shane?
I'm not famous
Shanny?
aside from all the
Shanny?
people
Is
that
it a-
listen to this deal.
Shanny Burlick?
Shanny.
The only reason Joel Embiid is any famous is because he's like 7 feet tall. And he's got a
And
very
pretty good at basketball.
And he hits up
Nah, he's-
Rihanna on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. He's more famous for his sliding in the DM tweets is more than he is his basketball play.
That's all right.
Guy's a
You
moron.
know, you got to be good at multiple things.
Yeah, he's
What happened to you,
multi-talented.
Shane? You good at nothing.
I'm not multi-talented. That's why I'm doing this show and not playing in any All-Star games.
That's what, Scout Team MVPs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
My-
MVPs.
My talent is sitting in front of a computer and talking about things. And
You can't even get that right.
Technology hard.
At least I got Joel Embiid's name right.
if that
Boom.
if that really is like a argument for like being successful at something, I feel bad. for you.
This is getting off the rails. Let's get this donkey show back on track here.
Yeah, let's do that. Giannis, LeBron, team captains. It's going to be interesting to see who they pick for the All-Star game. We've also, gentlemen, had quite the first half of the NBA season. And Shane, I know you weren't on last week's
crap.
episode, but remember a short time ago when I said that I was not worried about the Golden State Warriors. Well, I think they've won, 11 straight games?
Shane,
Something like
cricket.
that. Yeah.
Do you got the cricket noises?
Crickets. I wish, crickets.
Something
crickets,
like that.
anything?
I don't know. I just want to see him lose. I don't know.
Maybe just want to see him lose.
Wow. Huh. I thought I was going to get more out of you than that, but
Yeah,
I
no
threw my
kidding.
voice pretty well there. Wow, sounds just like me.
What a Sally.
Don't do that.
Someone's going to be very upset with you for saying
that.
Rob.
That doesn't like those kind of jokes.
She's the reason I said it.
Oh man! Oh, shout out!
Shout out,
Shout out,
who
mother.
you are.
Love you.
mother. Love you.
Talk a little bit about the All-Star game coming up, and let's give our rundown of where standings are at right now, Rob. Looking at the Eastern Conference, Bucks still in first place percentage-wise over the Raptors. Pacers in third. Let's talk about the Pacers because they had a major injury just happen recently.
Oh yeah. You know how I was talking last week about how they were surprising me and Oladipo was kind of carrying him? He did something to his knee, season ending, of course, and does not look good for the Pacers' outlook for the rest of the season.
Yeah, he's kind of their go-to guy, obviously, on that team, and with him being down for the rest of the year at this juncture already, not looking so good for the Pacers. 76ers close, on their heels, sitting in that 4 spot. Celtics still at 5, Nets 6, Heat 7. Charlotte Hornets in that 8 spot with a 24-25 record. Still got our Bucks boys sitting up on that the old number 1 spot. Shane, what's going to go down the rest of the way?
I'd love to see the Bucks take that home for the number 1 seed. I mean, who knows what Boston's going to do? I mean, they've been disappointing. Toronto's obviously pretty solid, but I think the Bucks can push for that number 1 seed. I mean, I don't see any other teams in the East that are head and shoulders better than they are, or I think they can play with anyone on any given day.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, we've seen that Giannis obviously a huge part of that team, but their bench especially too. I mean, you're not going to have a team like the Bucks that's doing as well as they are without having some sort of help, and they've shown that their bench can definitely get the job done. We have the trade deadline coming up here in about a week and a half, and it'd be interesting to see if the Bucks are any sort of major players at all, because we've had some big names being thrown around there as possible being
Anthony
traded.
Davis.
We got the Brow saying he wants to be traded from the New Orleans Pelicans, boys. Any chance the Milwaukee Bucks can get their hands on him, even if he's just a rental?
Probably not. It comes down to money. They have a lot of money tied into their players right now. Granted, they are playing well for really only having one superstar. You got Brook Lopez picking up some slack, Brogdon playing well on a night-to-night basis, but I just don't think with how much money they have tied up in their contracts that they'll be able to get another supermax type deal player.
Yeah, but I don't think the money is the issue for a rental. It's what they would have to give up for the rental. I mean, Anthony Davis is not going to come cheap. You're not just going to get him for a first-round draft pick. That's not even going to be a lottery pick. You probably have to give up Middleton or Thon Maker, maybe. I know Thon wanted to trade too, but you're going to have to give up some good assets for that.
Yeah, definitely. And, I mean, it might be interesting because Thon Maker did kind of hint he wanted out of Milwaukee, but that's still nowhere near Anthony Davis trade level,
Yeah, I think when it comes to Anthony Davis, he's kind of said he wants to go to a contender, which the Bucks are, but he's probably got his couple teams that he's looking at long term. I know he said that there's only those couple teams that he would be willing to sign long term. Everybody else, he would just be a rental for them. But I mean, if you got to think as a Bucks organization, being in where you're at right now, you have to at least do your due diligence to see what it would take, if it's even feasible. If it's not, understandable, but you got to think they at least have to make that call to the Pelicans.
I mean, you would think so, but the owners are just so stingy and they just don't really spend much money. They're kind of like the Brewers. They really don't throw out a lot of money. They just kind of put it into a lot of different types of players and not really tie them up on to one player.
I disagree with that about the Brewers, man. They're going to have their highest payroll ever to start a season this year. So the Brewers put money out there when they can, so they don't not do that.
Yeah, I think in general,
who have they signed besides a couple pitchers in the last 3 years that have super crazy large contracts?
Well, they traded for an MVP, and Lorenzo Cain was like a Gold Glove caliber center fielder. But this is an NBA segment, so
yeah, that's true.
No, I'm just saying that in years past, the Brewers did not shell out a ton of money for free agents.
They
That's
don't
not
have the
how
money. They
Wisconsin
don't
does
have
sports.
Yankees money or Boston money. They don't have that money. They're not that
Oh,
market.
that's the point. Milwaukee doesn't have that money
So it's
either.
not that they don't want to shell out money. They just don't have it. The NBA is a little bit different than the MLB, though, in terms of money structure.
Yeah, that's true. But again, Milwaukee doesn't like to spend a ton of money on just one player, so
Well, that's because they can't.
they could. They got rid of Dellavedova and a
don't have the
couple large
payroll to do it.
contracts. If they get
I mean, they're not LA.
True, but they have to get
People don't
get
want to
rid
come
of a
here for the
couple
negative 60-degree temperatures.
Shane, I understand that, but in order for them to really make a play at another super max type player, they have to get rid of some of these large contracts, probably Brooke Lopez or, someone even like Middleton, like you were saying. So they'd have to give up a lot of what their core is in order to get someone like Davis.
Which they wouldn't, because it's working. I mean,
exactly.
I mean, it depends on what you have to give up for him. If you can get him for a first-round pick and Thon Maker, I make that deal every day. But that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fun to think about Anthony Davis with Giannis on that Bucks team right now. Obviously, you'd have to give up lots of different pieces. It'll be interesting to see where Anthony Davis ends up, but probably got to think he's going to end up somewhere a little bit warmer with a team called the Los Angeles Lakers. It's going to happen.
That's more possible, especially after seeing down the news that Klay Thompson said that if Golden State doesn't offer him a max contract, he's willing to sign with the Lakers if Anthony Davis is on the team.
Yeah, I could just see super team.
Could you imagine Anthony Davis, Klay Thompson, and then LeBron and a probably Dunzo Ball?
Yeah, I think Lonzo is going to be off that team shortly, just based on Lakers making different moves. But yeah, lots of things happening in the NBA. And I just want to give a quick rundown of where things are at in the Western Conference. Like we talked about, Warriors sitting at number 1, Nuggets 2, Thunder 3, Trailblazers 4, Rockets 5, Spurs 6, Jazz 7, Clippers rounding out that 8 spots. And we do have the Los Angeles Lakers still in at number 9, been sitting there for the last couple weeks now, but going to be a great all-star break like we talked about, boys. Going to see who rounds out those all-star teams. With that, let's move right along into segment number 3 right after this. And we're back here on the Scout Team MVPs podcast, episode number 8, segment number 3, jumping right into our honorable mentions for the week, boys. And since it's Super Bowl week, one of the fun things that always goes down is we have lots of different prop bets, kind of silly things that people bet on. They think that might happen, might not happen. We're going to kind of go through some of these. Shane, any thoughts on any of those prop bets that jumped out at you?
Yeah, there's a couple interesting ones. The one that really jumped out at me was who wins the Puppy Bowl.
That's big time right there.
Yeah, the Puppy Bowl, as we all know, is the much more entertaining game than the actual Super Bowl. I think Team Rough is projected to win that game.
Nice.
But anyways, no, in terms of the actual game, a lot of them are interesting, like what color liquid Gatorade will get thrown on the coach. I think blue is the favorite.
What's your thoughts?
Give me red or orange, I think. I like red or orange for that. Then another one was, will any player use a prop during a touchdown celebration? The Patriots definitely won't. I don't see the Rams doing it. I don't know. There's just some weird ones. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, Rob, any of those prop bets jump out at you? Any interesting ones that you're going to be betting on this Sunday?
Nope.
Great stuff as always.
All right. Not a big fan of prop bets.
There's a lot about Jim Nantz, like will he say hello friends or hot Lanta, or will anybody take a knee during the national anthem, or will Donald Trump tweet about it or something? I think those will be... It's just fun to look at these kind of things. Like you don't need to know anything about sports to bet on that kind of stuff, really.
Yeah, there's gonna be so much stuff going on. It's obviously one of the It's the most watched thing on television during the year. And lots of different prop bets going down. A lot of stuff about the national anthem, like you said, Shane, America the Beautiful. How long is it going to take? Over under 95 seconds. You bet 115, Shane, to win 110. I mean, definitely doable.
Seems like not a very smart bet to me, but watching the national anthem, I guess that would kind of make it more entertaining. Not to say I'm unpatriotic, but I mean, the national anthem, we've all heard it a million times. That way I'd be like sitting there with my timer like, come on, Gladys, hold out a little bit longer for that national anthem.
How about this one? Will Tom Brady announce his retirement after the game? And the pick is no, but if you
already announced before.
I know, but if you can bet $2,500 to win 100. That's
How funny would it be if Tom Brady was just doing that to mess with people, and he was like actually did announce his retirement after the game? He's like, I saw that prop bet. All right, peace out.
Rob, you want to jump in? Tom Brady?
Nope.
All right.
Yeah, we know you love Tom, Rob. Come on.
Yeah, I do, but he said multiple times he's got zero chances of retiring.
Yeah, lots of different prop bets out there. You can pretty much bet on just about anything that you think might happen during that game or won't happen during that game. Makes it fun for those of you that don't really care about football but like to get in on the action, gamble a little bit. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, what do you got?
Let's make a prop bet of our own.
Go on.
I want one of the prop bets to be that one of the ball boys gets run over by a player during the game.
How underwhelming.
Oh, that was hilarious, but I mean,
really?
I was pretty excited, but then you kind of like just gets run over by
yeah.
So
as per usual, lots of different prop bets out
Rob.
there. Good times. But we have some other honorable mentions. That was our first one for this week, but we've got another one out there, and it looks like NASCAR is banning drivers and team members from betting on races. Isn't that just like a given anyway? He is not here.
No, he's not.
Okay. Sure.
I can talk about it, I guess. To me, that's not super surprising. I think Pete Rose still isn't in the Hall of Fame for baseball for betting on even his own team. I guess my familiarity with NASCAR is that my mom was a huge Jeff Gordon fan, and my room was painted in his colors when I was a kid for whatever reason. That choice was kind of made for me, but I was a Rainbow Warrior too, I guess.
It just seems kind of like a no-brainer.
Like, I'm going to bet on me not to win, Crash.
Yeah, interesting headline there that's coming from ESPN about NASCAR. Another cool tidbit, Shane, and our third honorable mention of this week is I'm not sure if you watch NHL at all, but we had NHL All-Star Game festivities going down in the skills competition a few nights ago, and history was made. We had Kendall Coyne Schofield, Team USA member for the women, participating in the All-Star Skills competition, and she did the speed skate competition. Pretty cool to see. Not sure if you saw the video at all, but she was flying around that.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm always impressed with people that can ice skate that well. I used to want to play hockey when I was a kid, but the skating backwards was my kind of problem. But yeah, hockey's an entertaining sport. I like to watch it. I would seriously kill if we could get a professional hockey team in Milwaukee. I would.
Yeah, I think that we do have the Milwaukee Admirals, but not in the NHL. But fun to watch their games every now and again. But yes, it would be nice to get an NHL team here in Wisconsin. I think there'd be a lot of support for that. They did just build Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee, and it would be nice because maybe we could get some of those people that pretend to like the Chicago Blackhawks to actually cheer for a team from their home state.
Yeah, well, it's a Chicago team, so I won't go there.
With that, Shane and Rob, we had a couple nice honorable mentions this week. Talked a little prop bets. Get your bets in now for those prop bets. We talked a little NASCAR not being able to bet on their own stuff, which seems like a no-brainer, and a little bit of talk about the NHL and women participating in the NHL skills competition. Great to see. But with that, we are going to take a short break and be back right after this for our Scouting for Picks segment. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places people like to listen? How do I make money from my podcast? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors too, so you get paid to podcast. For the Scout Team MVPs and what we decided to use to get our podcast off the ground, there was no better choice than Anchor. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. And we are back, Shane and Rob, on the Scout Team MVPs podcast, episode number 8. I'm your host, Chris McMillan. Like I just said, we have Shane and Rob with us. We're jumping into our scouting for picks segment. But before we do that, gentlemen, and Rob, I know you're going to get a kick out of this one. I did the exact same thing that I did last week. I didn't talk about our social media in our first segment.
Classic.
Classic, Chris. But yes, we are on social media. We are on Facebook and Twitter at Scout Team MVPs. You can find us online at scoutteammvps.com or our podcast profile, anchor.fm/Scout Team MVPs. Lots of good stuff up there. Check us out. Shane, I know you are a big social media person, and I know you check out all of our stuff all the time.
Totally active on Twitter. Do we have a social media hashtag yet? Is that a thing? Like hashtag Scout Team MVPs. Is that a deal yet or no?
It's not really a thing. It's just just our name.
Because they could just add us. No.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Shane's as you can see, Shane not very good.
I'm about as good at social media as I am sports podcast talk radio. Apparently.
Do we have a hashtag yet?
Hey, just because
at least you know a hashtag,
dad,
man.
Yeah, right. Just because my mom and dad set up all my technology for me and I have to call my 50-year-old parents with questions on how to set stuff up, that doesn't make me bad at technology, guys.
Yeah, not a big deal, right? But, no technology needed, Shane, for the Scouting for Picks segment. And recap of last week's picks. First game, we had Bucks versus the Hornets. We all picked the Milwaukee Bucks, and we were all correct. Milwaukee Bucks coming out on top, 108-99. Giannis, 34 points in that game, 14 rebounds. Studley, as always. Next game that we picked the Golden State Warriors and the Celtics, and we all went with Golden State in that matchup, and we were all correct once again. 115-111 was that final score. Golden State coming out on top. Kevin Durant, 33 points. Steph Curry, 24 points. In the final matchup, and I told Rob this when we recorded last week, Shane, that the only reason why I picked the 76ers is because I didn't want to pick all of the same teams as he did, and I should have not done that because the Nuggets won that matchup.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that, and you should have known better.
Rob, should have went with you there, buddy.
Yeah, but then we probably both would have lost.
They would have somehow both lost the game. But yes, Denver Nuggets coming out on top, 126-110. Shane and Rob both getting that game correct. I got that game wrong. I went with the 76ers. Wrongo for me. But that brings us, boys, to what we've all been waiting for, and that is our Super Bowl 53 picks, Patriots and Rams. Shane, we're going to start with you. Tell us who you got in the big game and why.
Well, I think I have picked against the Patriots every single game in this playoffs. I was one of the people that kind of wrote off Tom Brady and the gang. That's been a mistake, obviously. Watching him play these last couple weeks, I mean, he's been lights out. The stage isn't going to be too big for them in New England. I just think that this is another game that New England's just going to pull away with on the Rams. I think it's going to be, close for most of the game, but the fourth quarter, I think you're going to see Tom Brady take over. The Patriots will take it by 10. I just don't see Jared Goff then who knows with what's going on with Gurley last week, was spending a lot of time on the bench. I just think New England's going to scheme him pretty well, give Belichick some time, and he'll be able to figure out a good game plan.
Yeah, good stuff. Rob, let's get your pick.
I just think it's going to be a very methodical and hard-nosed game, and nobody plays those games better than the Patriots. I don't know. Tom Brady's 5 Super Bowls kind of speak for themselves. And obviously, I'm not going to root against Tom Brady. I'm always going to pick Tom Brady, even against Tom Brady. So, yep, I'm going to go with New England. It's probably going to be a very close game. But, yeah, Tom Brady.
I can't believe you guys are doing this to me. Both going Patriots. I'm picking last. I don't want to do it, but you
It's
know what?
either you pick the Rams and we're
You guys
right,
go home happy,
or you
yeah.
pick the Patriots and we're all wrong.
Let me just break this down a little bit, because I know we've talked about it at length for a lot of times that we've talked about the Patriots, but anytime that you have a team with somebody like Tom Brady, been in the league forever, we know that, been in a billion Super Bowls, billion different playoff games, head coach like Bill Belichick, this long to prepare, 2 weeks like Shane touched on. I mean, it's so hard to play against the Patriots in a game like this, especially when you have a young team like we talked about earlier in the Rams, Jared Goff a quarterback. If the Rams can control the ground game, I really do like their chances. But when it comes down to it, too much experience for the New England Patriots. And I know you guys hate me for this, but I'm going to have to go into New England Patriots as well to win this game. So we're all going to be riding the Patriot train this weekend. But, I mean, part of me just hopes I'm wrong.
We could pick scores to differentiate between who's right.
Nope.
Nope.
I'm willing to put up a final score.
Oh, yeah, I am too, but we're all going to be wrong, so I don't think it matters.
I know, Shane, I want to hear your final score. What do you think the final score is going to be? I know you talk about Patriots by 10, but what do you think the final is going to be?
I think it's going to be, like I said, tight until the end. Give me 31-21 Patriots.
31-21 Patriots. Rob, any thoughts score-wise?
Oh, crap. I'm going to go 20-21 Patriots.
21-20 Patriots. Okay. Well, you know what? I mean, I know we saw the Chiefs a couple weeks back score a bunch there, especially in that fourth quarter against the Patriots defense, but I don't think we have another high scoring matchup, but I do think we have something like a 27-24 final in favor of the Patriots, obviously. So we're all pretty close, 10 points or less. Rob, close 1 point, but it's going to be quite the matchup, I think, no matter what.
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to be a fun game to watch. Scouting for picks, boys, that's our last NFL pick for this football season. Kind of a bittersweet.
Yep, pretty cool.
I'm glad it's over.
Hard to... Yeah, you had a rough time of it, but,
With that, gentlemen, that is wrapping up our Scouting for Picks segment for our 8th episode on the Scout Team MVPs podcast. And we are going to be right back after this to wrap it up for the week. And we're back here on episode 8 to wrap it up for the week, boys. Been a fun episode. Always fun talking to you guys, especially when we get you both on here at the same time. Good times, right?
Yeah, it can be. More awkward silence there.
Yeah,
it can
totally.
be. I mean, if Rob's in a good mood.
Yeah, I mean.
Right, Rob?
Yeah, if you're in a good mood, the show is great. And if you're in a bad mood,
should be lifting your spirits.
Our crap
this should be
puts you in a good mood. So, yeah.
Oh.
Rob, you know what I want from you right now? I want you in your very best mood to tell our listeners where they can find us on social media and online.
Our viewers can find us on Facebook.com/ScoutTeamMVPs or at ScoutTeamMVPs on Twitter and ScoutTeamMVPs.com.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm
We're out there. We're
pretty offended you don't ask me to pitch the social media ever.
That's because you can barely talk about sports.
I totally know what Twitter is.
the old tweeter.
Face back.
Yeah. The old face tweet.
Do we not have a MySpace page?
I mean, we should.
Yeah. I feel like we're missing out on a big audience on MySpace.
Yeah, I feel like, we're just ostracizing the MySpace users, so we should probably get one of those up.
Get that AIM chat going too.
We're going to let Shane work on our MySpace and our AOL Instant Messenger to reach out to all of our fans.
I'll have that up next week.
Because he might know how to do that. I'm not sure.
No, I believe actually you made my MySpace page back in the day for me.
Probably true.
And my Facebook page for that matter.
We had to let you...
and that's when I knew Chris was going to be an IT whiz.
Yeah, I mean, we had to get Shane up on MySpace so he could do all those different bulletins, get him going.
I still don't know how to use any of that stuff. I use the Facebook mobile site, not the app on my phone. So
yeah, that's true. Just not a big fan of apps. I hate apps.
No.
So
why would I pay for that?
The apps I like, the ones from Applebee's, Brew Pub Pretzels, delicious.
those are good.
Free product advertisement for Applebee's, wonderful.
Yeah, they'll sponsor us in no time.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. What are they gonna do?
Yeah,
they ain't gonna do nothing.
Just free advertising for
Come
them.
get us.
They ain't gonna do nothing.
Yes, episode number 8 coming to a close, gentlemen. We talked a lot of good stuff this week.
Did we?
Yeah, I think so. NFL, Pro Bowl, Super Bowl. We had some NBA talks. We had some honorable mentions this week, Rob. I know you were a big fan of those honorable mentions this week. Lots of input from you during that segment.
Yeah, you were pretty quiet. It was nice.
And when we had our scouting for picks, where we picked our final NFL game of the season, it was a great episode.
Can I just tell the viewers the story about the honorable mentions?
Yeah, I think it's very worthy of some time here.
Yeah, you better tell it, or I will
run it down for him.
So I'm just kind of upset. Not upset. I'm just over the episode at the honorable mention segment this week, and I literally quit mid-segment, and I got in my car. I was driving to, let's say, the gas station.
Where were you actually going?
No. Where were you going?
I decided to go to Walmart.
For what?
To get a few things, and then get a little chat from the boys, and I had to turn around and come back to finish this segment. So you're welcome for doing that, and I know you guys appreciate it.
Yeah, we like you. Yeah, thanks for turning your car around. I mean, I know you had some important things to get at Walmart, but
I'm sure that that house that I pulled in the driveway to turn around was really weirded out. But I mean.
Well, maybe if you'd had your shirt on, it wouldn't have been a problem.
What's that man doing in 60 below?
Literally the funniest thing. That is literally the funniest thing Shane has ever said in his life.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good. Yes.
I'm sorry, did you say funny or fummy?
Funny.
Touche.
Oh, okay.
Great episode, boys. Episode number 8 coming to a close. I hope you guys stay warm. I know it's going to be pretty chilly the rest of this week. Rob, no more Walmart trips without your shirt on. I mean, that's pretty much my final takeaway, I guess.
Yeah. Shirt stays on from now on. Those looks I got were weird.
Welcome to my life.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Just a day in the life. With that, boys, wrapping up our episode number 8 here on the Scout Team MVPs podcast. Be sure to join us every Wednesday. Subscribe, tune in, make sure you know when we are dropping another episode. Hear us every single Wednesday on your favorite podcast platform. Gentlemen, another great week, and we'll do it all again next week. Have a good one.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Deuces.
I'm back next week.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll see you guys next week.
See you later.
Thank you for listening to the Scout Team MVPs. Be sure to subscribe and tune in next week as the MVPs discuss all the non-stop action in the world of sports.